both undefeated in the conference, so we're both, this game will guarantee one of us is going to at least share the titles.
Those are the stakes in the Bullets' return to F&R, a battle of two near unstoppable teams, and only one blemish on the resume so far for Williamsville in a game that served as a wake-up call.
Yeah, we learned that we had a lot of work to do. We learned that a lot of things had to get fixed. We had to have much better practices, and we had to be a lot more physical on the field.
Yeah, we learned we need to be more physical, just beat the dude across from us and do our job.
And it was just one of those things where I felt like we weren't at that level yet.
Since the loss, it's been 4 straight wins, and with that winning has come a new point of emphasis.
I think, a point of emphasis that has been a really big thing the last couple of weeks has been play loose and have fun. And I think that really brings a lot more energy and makes it a lot more fun to play.
This game is circled on both teams' calendar every season, and this year it has just as much, if not more hype than the last.
Every Monroe week it comes around and you're like, oh yeah, big week.
The last 2 years we've lost in really tough games to Monroe, and so it means a lot.
It's really exciting. It's for the conference, and it's been a big rivalry ever since we've been little.
When you're playing for a conference championship, it's going to be electric, and when we play these guys, it's always electric.
And they believe a win in this one is both big for the conference and a massive measuring stick for them.
I think that would catapult our season in a great direction. Overall, we've had a good year, but we've had one test really, and this will be a big test, and if we come out on top, it'll mean a lot for us.
The Bullets have lost this matchup tight each of the past 2 seasons, while Monroe Forsyth is undefeated against this year after falling to Byron. This team has really started to put together more complete performances, especially last week against New Berlin. What do you guys think the Bullets need to do to end the streak and win tonight?
Yeah, the Bullets have a great offense, like we said, and their ground game is incredible. Braddock Cates, he can catch the ball too. Had a big game last week. Williamsville really put it to New Berlin, but the Bullets offense will need to be on tonight.
Yeah, and it really seemed like something clicked at the halftime of last week when they got those 14 points in 8 seconds against New Berlin. It started to look like maybe they have figured out who they are and can put it together. I think in a game like tonight, though, especially as Braddock Cates is, there needs to be somebody else that steps up, whoever that might be. There's a lot of guys Williamsville will put out there, the running back, wide receiver position, but who's going to step up and also be maybe the guy tonight if Monroe could take away Braddock Cates.
All right, Sammy, back to you.
Now we switch gears to our visitors. Monroe Forsyth is back for the 2nd time this season, the 1st time unimpacted by weather. Their undefeated season so far has been nothing short of dominance. 47-plus points in every single game this season, 280 more points than their opponents. The Bullets aren't the average team to prepare for, but the Trojans, they hope they can make it 3 straight over their conference foe.
The Trojans are back and on a roll, looking to make it 8 wins in a row and 3 consecutive over the Bullets.
We've won it the past 2 years, and it's one of our goals that we make for ourselves every season at the start of the year. So doing that's just one step closer to our goal, and that's huge for us.
Yeah. Everybody's excited. We can't be more geared up for this.
Both teams know what this game means, and both teams bring the energy that makes it such a special matchup.
They got a great program. We had a great program. We're 2 powerhouses. They're a great 3A team. We're number 1 and 2A, so we're going to go head-to-head. It's going to be a great game. The atmosphere they bring with their fans and our fans makes the game that much more fun for us to play in.
The Trojan offense has been unstoppable this year, over 46 points in every game, something they attribute to their cast of offensive talent.
We have so many options, and we have people on the bench that are going to be starting at pretty much every other school in the Sangamo, but they're not because they're here. So, we just have so many options that we can go to.
Our pass is unstoppable, and so far our run hasn't been stopped yet either, so it's perfect.
And for a win tonight, Monroe Forsyth feels they have to stop the run and be more physical than Williamsville.
Yeah, we know we got to stop the run. That's our number 1 goal, is to stop the run. Find a way. We got to stop the run. So, and we know offense, we just got to keep doing our thing.
Yeah, being the more physical team, definitely. We have to just be ready to tackle and do our jobs.
Now our visitors, Monroe Forsyth, have won back-to-back nail-biters over the Bullets and 7 straight wins for them this season, scoring 47-plus points in each contest. Again, outscoring opponents by 280 points this season in just 7 games. Can they keep that kind of dominance going tonight, guys, or will the Bullets slow down and finally crack the code?
Well, it's going to be a tough test for the Williamsville Bullets defense, no doubt about it. Quarterback Ryan Shepard, 7 touchdown passes last week. He threw 7, 294 yards. He also rushed for 70 yards on 8 carries. So the Monroe offense is really, really incredible.
Yeah, it's special. Grant Smith on the outside, you know, he's going to the University of Illinois. You have Mitch Williams, who's kind of a do-it-all guy. He's going to move around. You got to keep an eye on him. I do think an X factor for the Trojans tonight could be Canton Wilson, their running back. He's a big, strong, tough guy, but he is also maybe one of the fastest players on the field. It's going to be tough for Williamsville to take away one thing, and I think you have to worry about 3 or 4 here tonight with the Trojans.
It'll be a tough test for, like we said, the Williamsville defense tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Sammy, back to you.
Thanks, Paul and Adam. We'll be checking back with you guys in a few minutes to preview 2 more contests. But first, it's time for our Green Certified West Goats of the Game. This is where we highlight 2 standout athletes, one on each side of our Game of the Week, who have a way to impact the game and the contest that we have at hand. And, well, there'll be reoccurring figures on your screens tonight. First, for the home team, it's Braddock Cates. Now, both players tonight, they're 2-way seniors. Cates has really been one of the most important pieces of this offense, particularly on the ground. A total of 17 touchdowns. Yeah, you see that. You heard me correctly. 17 total touchdowns on the year. He's averaging almost 190 total yards per game. It is safe to assume you'll see number 22 cross the goal line tonight. While for the Trojans, we look at Mitch Williams, one of the guys you just heard mentioned, and he's one of the deadly Maroa-Forsyth trio. Williams, Zach Smith, and Grant Smith combining for 26 of the team's 27 touchdowns through the year. Williams accounting for over 70 yards per game receiving, a guy who will need to get open and make plays for his quarterback, Ryan Shepard. So watch out for him tonight. Braddock Cates and Mitch Williams are Green Certified West Goats of the Game. Now, coming up after the break, much more for us to get to as both of our Game of the Week, but we have more games to get to from across Central Illinois, and to preview those games, including a fun one in the Central State 8 between Glenwood and Sacred Heart Griffin. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Rivals preview show.
Welcome back to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Rivals pregame show. And now Game of the Week, check, but still more action here in Central Illinois as we are in the penultimate week of the regular season. 2 more games I'd like to talk about on this side of the region. So for that, we welcome back Paul and Adam. And now, guys, this is a make-or-break time for many of those teams still that have work to do to earn a playoff spot, or for those teams still in the mix for a conference title. So let's start with the Central State 8 East. 3 teams still sitting tied at 4-1 in conference play, 5-2 overall, Rochester, Glenwood, and Normal. The Titans, they take on Sacred Heart Griffin, who also sit at 4-1 in the CS8, but in the West. This is a game I will be going to for post-game highlights, a really exciting game. Paul, Adam, can the Titans get this done in what would be a very important win for them on the road tonight?
Yeah, it will be a big test for Chatham Glenwood. They did play well last week. SHG, their head coach said, hey, we got 5 wins, we're in the playoffs, but you don't want to play a number 1 seed. So it's a big game for both teams. I think Chatham has a little bit of an edge on this one.
I do too. Chatham hasn't beat SHG since 2019, so they're looking to get. That's a huge matchup still. The Leonard Bowl took a little bit of shine off the rivalry that is Chatham Glenwood and SHG, but that's still a game both those communities want to win. But for SHG, it does mean a lot for seeding and what it means for the playoffs. So they really need a victory tonight. Chatham Glenwood rebounded from that big U-High loss. I know there's a lot of fans in Normal and Rochester cheering for the Cyclones tonight, but it's going to be a tough matchup for SHG, I think.
I agree. All right, Sammy, back to you.
Staying in the conference, we have another East versus West CS8 matchup. Quincy Notre Dame is already locked up the West, finishing 5-0 in the conference, allowing less than 100 points in conference play. They'll take on Lincoln, who have been up and down this year, but would really like to add another win, and one that would be quite impressive. The question is, guys, can they pull it off?
It's going to be tough, I think, for Lincoln tonight, but, they need this win to hopefully get back into the playoffs again.
Yeah, Lincoln's fighting for number 5 again. The playoffs after last year seem to be something they want to keep doing as a community and start a new streak. QND just looks really tough. It seems to be they're getting healthier as this season has gone on. That's going to be a tough matchup for Coach Sokowski and Lincoln.
All right, Sammy, back to you.
Thanks, Paul and Adam. Game time just over 15 minutes away, but now turning to the eastern side of the state, let's check in with our Carson Gordy. And Carson, crunch time now in the 2024 season. What do you have your eyes locked in your neck of the woods?
Last week, we saw dominating victories over previously undefeated teams. And in this week of high school football, are we going to see another round of chaos? Personally, I wouldn't mind that. And it might be the perfect time as teams are jockeying for those playoff spots. Paxton Buckley looks to rebound this week, traveling to Tolono Unity. The Panthers game last week was shocking. Despite coming in with an undefeated record, the Panthers were dominated by the Monticello Sages in a 33-0 loss. But the sky's not falling for the Panthers. The football program still sits with a sparkling 6-1 record, and the defense for most of the season, they've been really good. So far, they're only allowing an average of 12 points per game. They've lost 2 heartbreakers earlier this year, especially 52 home loss to Alpha Catholic in the early weeks. But the Rockets have rebounded and they're riding a 2-game winning streak. But in high school football, the rule of thumb is that you need 5 wins to get that playoff spot. Currently sitting at 4, the Rockets' last 2 games are 6-1 Paxton Buckley and 6-1 Monticello. If they make the playoffs, that means they earned it against a good football team. And later tonight, I'll be back with the highlights from the best games in the area. I'm Carson Gordy. I'll see you tonight.
Thanks, Carson, and don't forget we'll have all the highlights from tonight's games coming up in our CEFCU Friday Night Rivals recap show. The recap show that kicks off at 10:15 over on News Channel 20, and I'll be breaking down all the action from the gridiron again. That's tonight at 10:15. And after the break, we'll check in with the rest of our Friday Night Rivals team, including a weather update from our own Matthew Bednar.
Welcome back to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Rivals preview show.
Welcome back to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Rivals preview show. We're going to be heading back out to Williamsville now to check in with the rest of our Friday Night Rivals crew. And that starts with our meteorologist, Matt Bednar, for a look at our football forecast. Matt, take it away.
Thanks, Sammy. Yeah, conditions right now, very calm. Temperatures have been slowly cooling down, especially now that the sun set, but it was a little windy when we first got out here. Right now, conditions are very calm, not even a light breeze. The flags are pretty much just hanging right down. But as we go throughout around kickoff, we should get into those upper 50s. And as we continue to cool down tonight, we will be continuing to cool down and get into those low 50s, maybe feeling closer to those upper 40s. But otherwise, great time for football, great conditions, and we're going to continue to see this nice weather as we go throughout tonight and the next couple of days. But reporting live from Williamsville, I'm meteorologist Matt Bednar.
Thanks, Matt. Now taking a moment to highlight other programs at each of our Game of the Week schools, as both have done excellent in the fall across other schools and other programs outside of the gridiron, and that all starts with Williamsville football, but the other kind, the Bullet soccer team. Now, they were supposed to open up their playoff campaign today against Argenta as a #1 overall seed, but this afternoon, it was a forfeit instead. So they're ready and excited to get the playoffs going next week and excited for that postseason atmosphere for soccer.
Shows we worked hard. Just like Coach said, have a target on our back, and we've been dealing with that all year since last year. So nothing we can't handle, but we got to come out, same intensity. Every game could be our last, so we got to play like it.
I hate saying it. It's the it could be your last game every game, and that's kind of that. It's a necessary evil, but it's also kind of exciting and energetic too at the same time.
Now transitioning to the Trojans and across country, as this past weekend the Sangamo Conference Championship meet was held at Porta, and their very own Claire Eidner came out on top. The junior, she controlled the race from the very beginning and all the way to the end and never gave up that lead, winning by around 7 seconds. An incredible feat for both her and the program.
I went out right from the start. I went out to the front and I just never really looked back. I was really happy because there was nobody really close behind me, so then I just kind of cruised to the finish.
Oh, it's so exciting. We've never had anyone in the history of ever, except, we had a boy last year win, Reese Peters, but we've never had any girls win conference before.
Now, high school football brings excitement to the entire community, including those not in between the white lines. And our sideline reporter Spencer Davis stopped in Williamsville earlier today to catch up with one of the Bullet head coaches that will be stepping away from high school athletics. Spencer, take it away.
All right, thanks, Sammy. I'm out here, and it's a little earlier in the day, as you might be able to tell, but I'm standing by with Coach Clodney. Coach, you've been at Williamsville for 18 years coaching baseball. Just take me through those 18 years here.
Yeah, 18 years, it flies by. I think I started back in 2007. I was assistant under Coach Jess Buttry for several years, and I was fortunate enough to take over the varsity program 5 years ago. I believe my first year was the COVID year, so we didn't actually have a season. We had a preseason, so I've been doing it for 18 years, and time does definitely fly by.
Why did you feel like Williamsville was somewhere worth staying for 18 years?
Well, when I first interviewed here and got the job 18 years ago, my mother lived in Pana, so I was an hour away and wanted to move back closer to her. And actually, I still remember that day. Coach Coons was working on his master's degree, and he sat in on the interview, and we still talk about that.
That's awesome. And so take me through a couple of your favorite memories while you've been here. Well,
there's so many. Being assistant on Coach Buttrey's staff back in, I forget what year it was, but when you went second state, that was exciting. But every year brings something, new memories, special memories, stuff that you take with you for a long time.
We appreciate your time, Coach. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks a lot.
Sammy, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Spencer, and congratulations, Coach, on an incredible career there with the Bullets. But now when we come back, we'll wrap up our Green Hyundai preview show before sending things out to Paul, Adam, and of course Spencer for our Friday Night Rivals game of the week.
Welcome back to the Green Hyundai Friday Night Rivals preview show.
Mike Nichols. Headline's been Chris Hartbank. Line judge Travis Gass and back judge Matt Brown. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field your 2024 Williamsville Bullet Marching Band under the direction of Mr. Aaron Gosnell, assisted by Kathy Parker and drum majors Tegan Morgan and Bryn Stark. At this time, we ask that you please rise and remain standing as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Thank you.